Congratulations for making it to the last lesson in Math 2 class with Teacher Marian, Quarter 4, Module 2. So now we will have the topic, percentiles for group data. Percentile for group data is computed in a way that the quartiles and deciles are calculated. We still have to follow these steps. Step 1. Complete the frequency distribution table. Step 2. Determine the percentile class interval using the formula Kn over 100. The value of K is the nth percentile, where n could be equal to 1, 2, 3, up to 99. Capital N is the total frequency. Step 3. Calculate the percentile value using this formula, where LB is the lower boundary of the PK class. I is the size of the class interval. CF sub B is the cumulative frequency of the class before the PK class. And F sub PK is the frequency of the PK class. As what you have observed, the only difference among the three measures of position, quartiles, deciles, and percentiles in solving their values for group data is the constant denominator found in the given formula. Since we are dealing with percentile, then the denominator here becomes 100 because percentile divides the distribution into 100 equal parts. So now let us proceed to the example. Calculate the 65th percentile of the mathematics test course of 50 students given this frequency table. As what you have observed, we used the same data as what is being used in our examples in quartile and decile for grouped data. For the first step, we need to fill in the remaining rows in the lower boundaries and less than cumulative frequency columns. In addition, we have to find the value of n, or the total frequency. The value of n is 50 after summing up all the entries in the frequency column. Next is to get the lower boundaries. The simpler way to do it is to subtract 0.5 from the lower limit of the given class. So let's start from the bottom. The lower limit for the class interval 21 to 25 is 21. So 21 minus 0.5 is equal to 20.5. Let us fill in the rest of the lower boundaries column in the same way. By doing so, we were able to arrive with these entries. Next is the less than cumulative frequency, which is obtained by adding successively the frequencies of all the previous classes along with the class against which it is written. In this type, the cumulate begins from the lowest to the highest size. So we will start from the bottom. The first entry will be the same as the first entry in the frequency column, which is 6. The second entry will be the sum of the first two entries in the frequency column. So 6 plus 12 is 18. Let us fill in the rest of the cumulative frequency column in the same way. Remember that our last entry for this column should be equal to the value of our n, which is the total frequency. Since we are done completing the table, then let us proceed to step 2. Determine the percentile class interval using the formula Kn over 100. Remember that our K is the nth percentile and n is the total frequency. Since we are looking for the 65th percentile or P65, then the value of our K is 65 and n is 50. Let us substitute the value of K and n to the formula. So we have here 65 times 50 is equal to 3,250 divided by 100. The answer is 32.5. This means we need to find the class interval where the 32.5th score is obtained. This 32.5th value of observation can be found in the less than cumulative frequency column. Note that the 28 to 38 scores belong to the class interval 36 to 40. So, the 32.5th score is also within the class interval. The P65 class is class interval of 36 to 40. Since we already determined the 65th percentile class, then it's time for us to do the last step, which is to calculate the percentile value using the given formula. For P65, we will have this one. Before doing the operation, we need to provide first the value of the following. For the lower boundary, or LB, let us look at the table in step 1. The lower boundary of P65 class is 35.5. For the value of our I, or the size of the class interval, we have to find the difference between the lower boundaries of two consecutive or neighboring classes. Let us have these two consecutive lower boundaries, 45.5 and 40.5. 45.5 minus 40.5 is equal to 5. So the value of the variable I, or the size of the class interval, is 5. The value of our CF sub B, which is the cumulative frequency of the class before the P65 class, is 27. Since the cumulative frequency of D7 class is 38, then the cumulative frequency before 38 is 27. That's why CFB is equal to 27. Lastly is the F sub P65, which is the frequency of the 65th percentile class. So for P65 class, the frequency is 11. This time, let us perform the operation by substituting all the given in the formula. Remember that the value of the expression Kn over 100 can be found in step 2. So for P65, the value of the expression Kn over 100 in the formula is 32.5. Now, let us do the operation. P65 is equal to 35.5 plus the quantity of 32.5 minus 27 over 11 times 5. 32.5 minus 27 is equal to 5.5. 5.5 divided by 11, the quotient is 0.5. 0.5 times 5 is equal to 2.5. Now, let us add 35.5 and 2.5. The answer is 38. Therefore, the value of our 65th percentile, or P65, is 38. And that's all for this lesson about percentiles for grouped data.
Maraming salamat sa panunood, mga kaalamat!